What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Keep It Hoop YouTube channel. We are now on part two of our college player breakdown with Evan Mobley today. We did Jalen Suggs before this, and we'll have the link for that video in the description, so make sure to check that out. Um, but yeah, before we start, make sure to hit the subscribe and thumbs up button. Share this video; it'll help us a lot. And comment on what other players you want us to break down after this. And also go follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and we'll have those in the description below as well. So yeah, Evan Mobley, um, very highly touted coming out of high school, top 5 recruit. You're gonna see here number 4 on USC, and you know we talked about this before, but how traditional big men have become extinct and less valued, right? Like guys like Julio Okafor, Vernon Carey out of Duke, those kinds of back to the basket, physically dominant, big bodied centers just aren't as valued. Um, with the league going to a lot more switching on defense, high tempo offenses, and just overall athleticism. And I think with the coming out party that Bam had, I think the value around centers has kind of been increased, and you saw that kind of in the draft, right? Guys taking, um, you know, high value placed on Wiseman and Okongwu, right? I think Evan Mobley has the potential, after at least seeing this video, to mimic some of the things they do. And I'm not saying he's going to be those guys. I'm not saying he's going to be worse, but in terms of just versatility and the kinds of impact he can have, I saw some good things. So we'll definitely break it down here. All right, so we'll start first half. A little bit different from this Jalen Suggs video where he was playing Kansas. They're playing California Baptist. No offense to those guys, but obviously California Baptist not a major program. Um, so I guess that's one thing to keep in mind while going through the video. But still, D1 program, um, and it's you know still competition, right? So we start here, um, straight off the bat. We just talked about the importance of being able to switch as a big, and this isn't a full-on switch, but his ability to hedge out, and still get back to his man. Obviously, that's something that a lot of NBA scouts are going to be looking at. Um, so good hedge there, and able to get back to his man. Let's get forward here a little bit. So this again is a nice hedge. He's able to stop the offensive player from turning the corner. That's all you're really trying to do at first. If it's not a full on switch, you as a big, you're just trying to keep the guard from turning the corner so that the initial or the guy who was initially guarding him can get back, right? And then the rest is kind of just up to team defense so that the big can then get back to his guy. But um, Mobley does a good job of stopping the drive. Then the good rotation happens. He gets back to his guy. Um, but the big on California Baptist is able to just kind of back him down. And that's one thing that we're gonna see throughout this video. Um, you know, he seems like he has a pretty good wingspan. He's, pretty active and athletic, but um, he is a freshman and you can tell that his body isn't fully filled out yet. I think once it does, fill out and he becomes stronger and has a better base, his defense is going to get even better. But, I think that is something that he definitely needs to work on. Gonna go a little bit. Let's actually stay here. He calls for the ball. Obviously, has confidence in his offense. Good patience, soft touch, nice little hook shot. Obviously, that's something you want to see, even if it's not dominant. Just to be able to take certain matchups and have a hook shot that you can go to, um, definitely helps, regardless of what level you're playing in. Forward a bit here. Again, this is nice hedging. Again, you stop the guard from turning the corner, gets back to his guy, and is able to get inside position there. For the boxing out, right? So really nice job of one stopping the drive here, getting back to his guy. Not only just getting back, I know he doesn't end up getting the rebound, but his ability to use that a little bit of a swim move, get on the inside, box out, help his team rebound. See him being able to run the floor. Um, this little screen, wide base on the screen, which is really important, so you can cover as much ground. Makes the defender have to go all the way around you, right? And then shows off his athleticism, one hand alley oop. Um, Again, you like to see him running the floor though. I'll skip forward a little bit. So there's definitely still weaknesses in his game. Um, he gets caught out on a switch, and he gets caught just watching the ball. Right? You see the guard up there, at the top of the key. He's making a cut. Mobley has no vision of him. He initially reacts to the ball, and then by the time he you know sees his man is too late. He ends up missing the shot. But if they're playing, let's say, you know, Kentucky, Duke, Gonzaga, and then in the next level, obviously, right, if you switched out on a guy like Dame, Steph, Kyrie, those guys, this too easy of a shot. So, um, again, throughout the video, you're gonna see that he definitely has the ability to switch out when needed. Um, the defensive principles of USC show me that not only can he do it, but they trust him to do it. But he does have some defensive lapses, some loss of concentration here and there. So that's the one thing he's gonna need to work on. You can have all the talent, all the ability to do it, but if you don't stay locked in on defense, it's just not gonna matter. So yeah, he misses a shot right there, but definitely something he needs to work on there. Staying engaged, being locked on his guy. So on this next play, you're gonna see, right, his ability to switch. Right, number 25 on California Baptist ends up making the shot, but this is a shot you live with. Good contest on time. That's just a tough shot, right? So again, he has the ability to switch out, which in today's NBA, right? You look at all the elite bigs, at least defensively, and that's something you really want. A lot of switching, a lot of movement on offense. Um, so yeah, when your big can do that, right, with a guy like Bam on defense. Again, that's kind of the comparison everyone's going to go to. And again, I'm not saying he's going to be Bam, but a lot of teams want to have a defensive big that can do something like that because it helps you so much on defense to be able to switch. If you can switch something like a 1-5 or a 2-5, meaning point guard or shooting guard with your center, it just makes switching and overall team defense so much easier. So yeah, good contest there again. He makes a shot, but you live with that. And then here, catch and shoot. He misses the three, but um, you know, we talked about this with the Jalen Suggs video. It's a lot of times when you're, I think, watching younger players, it's not just if the shot goes in or not. I think the two other things that one coaches and scouts in general have to keep an eye on are obviously the form, but also the mentality, right? The willingness to take it. And we talked about Jalen Suggs having both of those things, all three really. The ability to make it, he showed that. Willingness to take it, he took the open ones when he needed to, and then he had decent form, right? And Mobley here, um, I think his form, a little slow, but for a big, I think it's totally fine. And then The big thing again, the willingness to shoot it. No hesitation here. He's open, catches it, goes right into his shot. You know, that you can fix with repetition. Whereas again, if someone's not willing to shoot it, it's really hard to get them to shoot it. So misses it, but I think the willingness and the comfort with which he can shoot it is something that scouts will look at as a positive. Um, we'll go here. Right here. So he already made one earlier in the game. He made a three earlier in the game, and then he showed the willingness to shoot it, in the clip before this. So the defender's coming out already. He knows that, able to use a little pump fake and then a floater. A little awkward, but if it goes in, it goes in. Nice soft touch. Um, right. So already we've seen his willingness to shoot the three, ability to switch out, a nice little hook shot, and the ability to run the floor. Pretty versatile, if you ask me. Just a good combination. He's obviously pretty quick on his feet. And again, just the big things are really the shooting and the ability to switch out, because that's such a commodity for bigs nowadays. And that's something that if he can continue to show in the league, that's really going to be a great way to improve his value going into next year's draft. Um, that's good defense here. He's able to, he has to close out on a guard. Does nice fundamental closeout, chops his feet, stays low. He knows he doesn't need to jump to affect the shot. So, he doesn't pick up any dumb fouls here. And then, just stops the drive, right? Just really good fundamental defense there for a big closing out to a guard. Let's see. Something I noticed when I was going through this game, and I don't know if it was a coincidence. I guess we'll see further on down the season, or if it really is a part of USC's defensive scheme. But we saw this a lot with Bam, right? When they were playing the zone, they had Bam at the top of the key a lot. And you notice as Evan Mobley gets, or is forced to have a lot of these switches, they're, you know, confident or at least okay with Evan Mobley being at the top of the key defensively. And he looked pretty comfortable for the most part. Um, and I think it says a lot about him and again the coaching staff that they trust him. Um, if you've ever played against a zone or just a big that's able to switch out, it makes initiating the offense harder. Um, I think it gets understated or underestimated. If you're talking with or just someone who hasn't played basketball, having to initiate an offense or really move the ball around when there's someone at that stature or that size at the top of the key, um, you know, denying passes and making just the overall vision a little bit harder to see around the court, it really does make a difference. And then when you know that he's able to at least contest your shot, one, two, also like I said, um, make the passing the ball more difficult, and then also able to stay with you well enough where it's not easy to just blow past him. Um, makes your offense that much harder to get going. And we talked about even our last episode, and we're gonna keep harping back to this, but the ability for point guards and shooting guards to drive and kick, so just get into the paint and then kick out, makes the offense that much easier. Well, the flip side of that is again, well, obviously, if you can stop the drive, it makes defending a lot easier. And if you have a guy who can protect the rim like Mobley, but also step out and bother the offense, and kind of make it more difficult for them to initiate. Um, that's the kind of guy that can anchor your defense for a lot of years. And if he's able to do it again, inside and outside at two different levels, um, makes coaching your defense a lot easier and helps cover up for the defenses of some of your teammates if you don't have a couple guys who aren't great defenders. Nice little pick and pop here. Good fundamentals, good footwork. Um, Again, we're gonna keep going back to this, but just the ability, not only the ability to do it, but the confidence and comfort in which he does this. I think is the big part. Like even if he missed that, and you see that it's just if you see that as a scout, like okay, good footwork, pretty good form, and he just catches it and shoots it, no hesitation. I think those are things you take and you can just work with. But obviously, he makes the shot. Um, so now we've seen it on multiple levels on both defense and offense. Defense can switch out, protect the rim, and offense can drive, can shoot the three, can shoot the mid range, and has a hook shot. So, um, that's that's it for the first half. And again, just going back, I'm sure you can rewind if you want to, but just the versatility is the thing that impressed me the most about Mobley's game. Watching it, people are gonna keep throwing out that name Bam just because he's kind of like the hot name for comparisons as bigs. Um, and this is only one game, and it's against California Baptist. So again, we have to keep watching more film to really get a grasp of because if you look at his numbers since then, they haven't been dominant by any means, but he's had solid games. Um, and yeah, I don't want to resort to the term unicorn, but he really is versatile and unique. And I think he can have um, a wide range of ways to impact the team, um, which sets him apart from like the traditional bigs we talked about, where it's kind of just okay. X player is just really good at backing down, being physically dominant on offense. Seems to be able to do a little bit of everything. And in a guard-oriented game today, if your big can do that, I think it allows him to stay on the court. He can't get played off, and it just helps ease everyone else into a game, right? So we'll go to the second half here. It ends up being an overtime game, so we do actually have a decent amount more of things to break down. So this play coming up next, um, pretty interesting sequence. So it ends up leading to a drive, then an and one for his teammate. Um, Nice find. Then he tips the ball to himself for an offensive rebound. Right, you like the patience to not, to get the ball back out. Ends up being foul on the floor. He misses alley oop there. But you like the activity, the athleticism, right? That alley oop miss isn't something you worry about. Obviously, he's going to make those more often than not. And then he ends up getting called for a technical, but then he ends up getting another offensive rebound and dunk. So off of that pass initially, right? It was at 18:35. Spent about 30, 40 seconds on offense, almost 40 seconds on offense. Um, you know, Multiple points. He missed the alley oop obviously, but gets it back here. You like the activity. Two offensive rebounds off of the free throws. There's patience. There's the drive on offense to rebound, and just overall activity level is really impressive. In a close game like this, this is backbreakers if you're the other team. And you like to see a freshman who is highly recruited go out there, play with such heart. Um, and yeah, again, just showcasing his ability to do a little bit of everything. Getting back on defense here. Gets back down pretty easily here. Um, I would say that's the one weakness I saw. And again, this is something that can be fixed easily with just time in the gym, right? He's gonna, fill out his frame, but he is a little bit weak still. If he's going up against Jokic and AD and Embiid, like it's gonna be rough on him for the first couple years, right? So that's the one thing that he needs to work on. I think offensively, for the most part, he's obviously not. Um, there's obviously things he can work on offense, but I think as long as he gets his body ready defensively, he can have immediate impact, um, and a pretty big one at that, just because of again the amount of things he can do. But the one constant thing that gives him trouble from what I've seen so far is kind of his frame. Um, that isn't to say he shies away from the contact. Because he here gets the rebound over a couple guys, finishes. Um, Again, mentally he's not scared of the contact. He's just you know he's young, still getting used to filling out his body. So that's the only thing. As long as he's not afraid of the contact, should be no big deal. Another sequence here was pretty bad defense. He goes to hedge the screen, um, and then just gets caught napping right here. Um, Big on California Baptist slips the screen, and then he's just too late. It's a little bit of a defensive mishap there. And you're gonna see right. He gets caught for a pretty simple move here. Um, that he fakes the big on California Baptist, fakes the handoff, and unless that's like Steph Curry or Clay, someone like that, I don't think it's something you need to really worry about. I think Evan here can drop down a little bit below, like here. Obviously, you want to still stop this and hedge it, but I don't think it's necessary to play him that close. Ends up getting beat on that move, um, and ends up giving up an and one, right? And then on defense here again, gets beat. Has recovers nicely with the block. So you do have to give credit there. Again, but just kind of gets out muscled. Um, so I guess it's both there, right? Getting out muscled again. That's the thing that just keeps coming up. But I don't think it's too worrying. But does have the ability to stay on balance and then recover with the defense. And then in overtime, when I was watching this, he just plays really well in overtime. Um, this was a play that was kind of a backbreaker. If they had lost this, if USA had lost this game, I'm sure this would have been a play that they point to. Um, the defender on USC here does a nice job of forcing a tough shot. There's 4 white jerseys around, and Mobley being one of your bigs, you want him to really go for that ball as soon as the ball goes up in the air. Somehow they give up a wide open, or they give up the offense rebound, and then they give up a wide open layup. So you want to see that motor be a bit more consistent. Um, but from here on out, I mean, he really just kind of takes over. Um, it's a really nice block here. Um, he's playing both weak side, or I guess this ends up being strong side, but strong side corner shooter. He has, he's close enough where with his wingspan he can still contest. But as they hedge and then the defense now has to play 3v4, he's able to then come here in a great contest, great block without fouling. Um, Keeps the ball in play. Um, then you're going to see here good patience. Again, soft touch. Nice hop step to really get himself on balance and get a basket, a big basket at that during overtime. You're going to see a really nice contest here by him. Again, that's not going to go in the stat sheet as a rebound, but, guys like Al Horford were really good at this. Even if you don't have a lot of blocks, if you really watch the games, if you have played against a good rim protector, it's not just about blocks. When you have a guy who's an elite defender in the paint, let's say they average like 2 blocks a game, that's obviously 2 shots that they're erasing, but they're probably altering, right? You might hear announcers say this a lot, but altering, you know, a dozen shot a game without fouling. And that's just by being in position, having good instincts, not fouling, keeping your hand up, and just being in the right spot. Um, and again, that's another way a good rim protector can really help anchor your defense, can help erase a lot of mistakes by your team. Um, so a really good job here of, again, just he's not going to get a block here. He gets a good rebound, but 13 on USC, needs help. He comes here, and 13 actually ends up playing good defense, but Mobley's there. And when you're an offensive player and you see big man weak side coming, sometimes the offensive player gets scared, or they just have to maybe they have to shoot their floater a little bit higher than they thought they would. Whatever the reason, again, it alters a shot and it can really decrease the chances of that shot going in. So good help there. Go here for a nice little pass. The patience here to take a dribble, analyze the defense. He has an option, right? He can read the defense here. If weak side defender doesn't step in and he stays here, then Mobley can just continue to go either for a dunk or a nice finish. He sees that the defender is cheating though. Nice pass, a little bit high, but still good vision. And that's a harder pass than I think a lot of people realize it is for a big to make. Bam is really good at it. Sabonis is really good at it. Thiago Splitter was really good at it when he was on the Spurs. But to catch that ball around the free throw line off of pick and roll, and then to make the right read, whether to drive or to pass, and do so on time, on target, is a really underrated skill for big men to have. And he showcased it here. Leads to a basket again in overtime. Big play there. Nice defense here as well. Alters the shot, leads to a block by his teammate. The guard on California Baptist had to double pump. Then we're going to see last of his highlight play. Good patience there, right? He had the pass at first, but he didn't panic. He gets good hands first to be able to catch that ball on the run without traveling and then hold on to it. Takes a dribble. Again, he's already shown the ability to knock down the open jump shot from the mid-range. So he can shoot this if he wants, but he sees weak side shooter, right? So his first thought is, all right, let me get the ball to him. But then he sees the defenders reacting, so he then has a wide open lane to the basket, and then nice soft touch. It was really underrated. Again, a really tough move for big men to make with that soft touch. USC ends up winning this game, but um, yeah, I think the big things were just. I mean, that's it for the clips. But again, the biggest takeaways were his ability to switch, and I know it's just I keep saying it, but that is such an important aspect of today's game. And then on offense, while he may still be a little bit raw, but able to hit the three, able to hit a mid-range jump shot, has a post move and a nice floater. Like, and he can, we saw his ability to pass a little bit. Again, he might be a little bit raw, but for his age, I mean, he has a lot of potential, and the there's still obviously again the problems with his frame a bit. He definitely needs to get stronger. Does fall asleep on defense sometimes, but for the most part, the engine is there. Um, the size, the wingspan, the athletic ability is there. Really excited to see how he performs against some of the better competition, and if he can maintain that consistency. But yeah, I mean, I like what I saw, and I think he definitely has a bright future if he can keep this up. But yeah, I mean that'll do it for this episode. Again, if you're interested in Jalen Suggs, we'll have the video link in the description below. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and comment on who or other teams you want us to break down next. And go follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys.